our fine city, Jonathan Green. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey Bart, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you again.
It's great to be seen.
Yeah, I just saw Jonathan last Friday at the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Loomis Park Playground.
Yeah, what a difference that
It
playground
is.
is now.
Yeah, it's so transformational. I've heard so many people comment on it, and all positive. It really is beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of those things though, because Jackson loves its history. So talking about this in the beginning, we got people pretty worked up. They had some concerns because a lot of time and effort and love went into building the old play structure.
Yeah,
But it was 20 years old. It was made of wood. It was outdated. We were doing our best to maintain it, but it was also dangerous in the sense that it had a lot of nails, a lot of sharp edges, and I like what we were able to come up with, and then what we're able to do to the park property itself to make it more accessible and make it more visible from the streets. You see Kelly Hoover there, Parks Director, talking, Mayor Mahoney. And that's a cool play structure. That is a really cool play structure, and everything around it is pretty neat. There's some adult exercise activity stations in the vicinity of the playground as well. I think those big scissors actually do cut.
they do.
So Freddie could have done it, but he was deferring to the mayor. So
I was talking to Pat McGee, who was one of the volunteers that worked on the original wooden structure. It was a community build,
yep.
and it was an out-of-town company. They sell this thing, and then they say you save so much money. You get all these volunteers, hundreds of people. When they started, I think it was a 4-day thing. The first day they had literally hundreds of people that turned out to help. Way too many, and there was that many each successive day. There were a bunch of restaurants, people donated food. It was really a spectacular event, and that's why I think it's so emotional. So many people were involved.
And I was not taking anything away from it. It was just one of those things we had to be very respectful of. Because a lot of people, as you just pointed out, put their blood, sweat, and tears into that original play structure. And so talking about the project and discussing the need for something new always had to pay some sort of homage to the work that they did, and made it clear that we're not trying to disrespect what you guys did before, but it was just time.
Yeah, and I did talk to Pat about that because he, along with many other people that worked on it, were in agreement that it was at its end of life.
Yeah. The rocket ship couldn't launch anymore. Had to retire it.
And I had a couple people say, "Oh my gosh, we used to have so many more trees." Well, that was one of the things the city has been concerned about, is opening it up to make people feel more safe while they're in the park.
Yeah, we definitely had to remove some trees because it was we took out, I can't remember the exact amount, but there was a pretty sizable mound in that area. So we couldn't just take away the dirt and leave a bunch of exposed tree roots. We had to remove some trees. And it's unfortunate, but I think, one of the things we're really good at the city is planting new trees. And that whole park, doing Edgewood Street on one side of it, that's benefited from new trees that will, eventually grow into those big guys that we had to take down. So it's just, that is the life cycle.
Well, it's an example of the work on the park and playground of the city's goal to start at the core and improve and build going out. And also on Ganson Street, you're starting a project.
Look at that brand new home on Ganson Street. That already has a buyer for it. And that is one of 4 builds that this builder is embarking on in that vicinity, Ganson and Maltby. If I recall correctly, that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, very energy efficient, and it's already in virtually the state that it's in now, as you see in the picture, already a positive addition to the neighborhood. And the 3 other ones that are coming will do the same. It's just really exciting to see new home builds here in Jackson. We should want to prospect one these guys up over here in Ganson and Maltby. And
the style fits in with the neighborhood, the style of the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, it does. And that's, the whole point of what we're trying to do, building back the city. As you know, you've covered the city for a long time. We did embark on a very aggressive demolition program that created a lot of these vacant lots that we're now taking the opportunity to build homes on. And last night at City Council, they approved a very ambitious project led by our Community Development Director, Shane Laporte, on our 100 home build. So this is something that the city is working with. We'll be looking to work with home builders and nonprofit agencies to build workforce housing in the form of single-family homes, not just what you see normally is a lot of multi-family structures like apartments to house workforce type people. But these are single-family homes that we want to take the success that we see right here on the screen and make it bigger with the city's 100 home project. And very excited to have council approve our plan last night. We have a lot of work to do still. We have some requests for proposals that need to go out to both a building partner and both a local nonprofit partner to help facilitate these transactions, because there's a lot of incentives out there that can help bring down the total mortgage for people. And interest rates, as you know, are pretty high right now, but there's down payment assistance available, and we're trying to buy down the cost of these homes to make it affordable for folks here in Jackson.
So this 100 home build, is that in addition to the 100 homes that we previously heard about?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. So Jackson has attracted a lot of attention because of its low cost of living, its robust workforce, and the very real need for housing here in town. So, yeah, we have a developer on the line called Allen Edwin. They have the right of first refusal on about 100 properties themselves. They have had their first success down on Prospect Street. That house just sold. So they're looking to keep doing more and more here in town, and we're looking to augment that with our own program.
Now, I looked at their website when their name was first announced being interested in the city, and they do this in a lot of other Michigan communities, or Kalamazoo, Lansing, I think Adrian. They've got a track record already.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have a partner like that who found us and said, "Here's what we're doing in these other places, and we think we can be really successful here in Jackson." And we roll out the red carpet, showed them around town, and they're excited to be here. They're just as excited to be here as we are to have them here, which isn't always the case.
Yeah, and as you look at some of our neighbors to the east, Ann Arbor, it's living in Ann Arbor is not affordable.
No. Or I will have a chance to visit from time to time. It doesn't seem enjoyable either.
Right.
There's a lot of traffic all the time. Hard to get from A to B. And here in Jackson, you're only 10 minutes from anything.
It's amazing. I think it's a well-kept secret. I don't mind it stays a secret.
Yeah, I neither do I.
Yeah.
What I look at is I want to keep improving upon the secret and make it better for the people who are here. And we want some friends and family to come and grow our community, but making this a well-kept secret, or keeping it a well-kept secret, it's okay by me.
Well, and it really is. It's pretty much the definition of ideal municipal growth is control in both the available housing, the available opportunities, available infrastructure. No one can suddenly accept a huge influx of people.
Yeah, it's control and to grow organically. And I guess even to maybe misuse the word, but a little iteratively, just kind of slow and methodical about it. That way we don't overbuild, that way we don't overextend, and that way we make sure we have the right level of services for the right population we have.
There are a couple of housing projects that were previously announced that we had hopes for, and I wanted to get an update on those. One was a Greenwood Place workforce housing.
Yep.
Is that still on track?
Those are matriculating through their processes at the state level. A lot of the things are out of our hands now. They've received their, the local approval. We understand what they're trying to do, but they're going after some state incentives, tax incentives, and so it takes a while because they don't do. It's not like a rolling application process for them. They have deadlines to meet, and then windows open, windows close, and so those are still tracking.
Last time the developer for the Hayes was here, actually on our show,
Yep.
they said September is their goal to get something started.
We're still there.
Really?
We're still on track. Conversations about getting to the finish line are ongoing, and I feel really positive about that. They haven't. They're just as positive on the project as they were before. Again, we have some state partner help with that. That's taken some time to materialize, but it's all coming together, and I'm very, very, very hopeful that when I come back on for September
And you
meeting, I can tell
personally-
you about it.
Yeah, and Jonathan personally, he was actually the person as, and I think in your first week as DDA director at the time, put the for sale sign in the Hayes window. So you've had all these years that this has been, and I think it's a pet project now.
Oh, for sure. But I'm not the only one, though. I remember that too. I should have. I didn't clean the window. I should have cleaned the window when I put that up. But it was just I had more energy than thought back in the day. Just do something, and here we are, all these years later. A lot of people with me and before me pushing on this project, and we're going to see it through.
Yeah, good things come to those who wait. We've got construction continuing, and one of the busiest streets in Jackson, Brown.
Yeah.
It's getting close.
Getting close, yeah. We need. You can see on that sidewalk, the nice wide sidewalk. There's some pieces missing, and we need our friends in the telecom utilities to finish up their work before those sections of concrete can be put in place. Because what you can't see just off camera, there is a utility pole that's preventing that concrete from being in place. So on these large projects, it takes a lot of partners to coordinate, and sometimes you thread the needle and it all works out like you planned it, and other times work bleeds over and from other projects and you have slight delays. And here we're experiencing a slight delay with our telecom partner to move their utility out of the way. But that's okay, because as you just said, good things come to those who wait. We can be patient for a project like this that's going to connect Brown up to the Michigan Avenue sidewalk system as well. So
Yeah,
That's
we've
pretty
seen AT&T as an example come back and work on Greenwood after that project was all finished. So it's best to get it done when the streets turn out.
Like I said, it is really hard coordinating everybody involved in a project like this. And sometimes it works out, and when it works out, you never even notice that it all came together. But yeah, when the city or Consumers Energy works on in an area, and it's not quite tightly coordinated or something happened, and going back, it's like, man, I thought they were done with that.
Yeah. Actually, Consumers is back this summer downtown.
Well, I mean, yeah, hey, credit to them. They're investing in the infrastructure. We need them to do that the same way we need to invest in our infrastructure. So it isn't enjoyable for everyone, because it feels like downtown has been under construction since the dawn of time. But it's a part of progress.
Yeah, well,
It's the price of progress.
Look at the results. And I don't know if you got a chance to come down to the first cruise night last month, but it was, I'm positive it was the biggest crowd we've ever had for a cruise night.
It probably was. In my time working for the Downtown Development Authority and working those cruise nights, that one in May was always big. And I'm not surprised that now, with all of the work that's been done in downtown and the great businesses that have been added to downtown, that it was the biggest one. And at first I didn't understand why, but then I had a car owner who said, we've been hibernating all winter. We want to come out and see our friends.
Nah.
And you think about it, it's like, well, there's every high school graduation was on that night, all the time. But yet it's the biggest one, and you're probably right. This last one was probably the biggest one ever, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they'll continue the food truck. In fact, the food trucks ran out of food on cruise night. Tiki Sam and Baby Bear Burger, they knew it was going to be big, and they brought a whole bunch, but
Hey,
yeah,
that's great.
it
You know,
is.
that's really great to hear.
Well, thanks for all the updates, and thanks for coming over.
Hey, anytime, Bart. Thanks for having me.
Our city manager, Jonathan Green. Well, we're going to take a look